I always try to be a good neighbour. And it's generally a friendly neighbourhood. Generally. We help each other out when needs be. If someone needs a hand with something, they only have to ask. Lend a hand, that's my motto. If they need help and I can help, then I will help. It's just the right thing to do. It's what binds us together, isn't it? A little bit of kindness. What goes round comes around, doesn't it, generally? Do as you would be done by, that's my motto. Mrs. Do as you would be done by. From the Water Babies, isn't it? My old dad used to love the Water Babies. Charles Kingsley. Let's read it one day. Throw a bridge, he used to say. Just go and say hello. That's what he did. If he was ever in a strange place, a strange situation, somewhere he didn't know anyone, he'd just go and talk to someone. Anyone. He reckoned if he was feeling out of place, then most likely they were too. Look out, he'd say, I'm coming in. And he'd walk up to them and with his hand out, and by the time he'd finished shaking hands, he'd know their name and what they did and what they'd had for breakfast. That's just what he was like. He'd talk to anyone. And before you knew it, he'd made a friend. Well, a companion, anyway. Someone he could break bread with, anyway. That's what he used to say. So that's what I try to do. You know, if there's an unfamiliar face at the cricket club or at church, I'll go and say hello. Just to put them at their ease, as it were. Haven't seen your face before. Where are you from? Just passing through? Oh, lovely. On holiday, are you? Well, that's how I got to know Jeff, after all, and Nigel. And no, they may not be my closest friends. Not bosom buddies, as it were, but... Well, they're both a good bit younger. But we'll share a story over a pint in the plough or a packet of crisps. I introduced the two of them, and Nigel's good for a Sunday morning fishing once in a while, and, they get on so well together. Since I introduced them. They see a lot of each other, I understand. And all that, but, well, none of that would have happened if I hadn't thrown a bridge, as Dad used to say. They went for that spa weekend a few weeks back, Jeff was telling me. Some fancy hotel in Oxfordshire. That'll have been a great weekend for the two of them. Two lads out and about having a spa. It's not really my sort of thing, mind. But they'll have had a great time. Jill would have loved it. Probably. Well, the idea of it. Wouldn't you, Jill? So, when the Pickford's lorry pulls up outside number 53, well, I take an interest. Nobody wants nosy neighbours, but I'm very discreet. Don't touch the nets. I won't, Jill. They'll see you looking. I know. I only watch a moment, just when they first arrive. There's a lot of shouting. Well, I wondered if they'd hit Mr. Clifford's car with all the noise they were making, but no. False alarm, thank goodness. He's very pernickety, Mr. Clifford. So I just watched for a moment from the sitting room. And then, when I go up to fetch the laundry, I watch from the bedroom window, just for a moment. I'm not going to go over while they're busy, but obviously it's in my mind to show them a welcome at some point. New neighbours. But not while they're busy, that would be thoughtless. Nobody needs interruptions when you're trying to supervise removal men manhandling your personables. So no, I won't interrupt. I'll let things flow, as it were. I say to Jill, I'll not go over yet, Jill. I can see they're busy. I'll wait a while. Go over a bit later. Jill would have agreed. Wouldn't you, Jill? Well, I go through to the kitchen and pop the kettle on to make a cup of tea, and I think maybe the neighbourly thing to do would be to pop them something over later, when the removals are gone. You know, when they're just having their first cup of tea and wondering where the kettle is and where they're going to put everything. We remember that feeling, don't we, Jill? Where's it all going to go? And with that in mind, I whip out Delia and start to thumb through. Well, you can really rely on Delia for a baked good. Jamie's all right for a spaghetti sauce, but for a baked good, Delia's your man, hands down. Rock cakes seemed the obvious choice because, well, I'd only just made a batch last weekend, and when Lisa and the boys were over, and I know I have everything, and, well, who doesn't like a rock cake? So step 2. It was about 4 p.m. then, when I think I'll go over. All the rock cakes have come out a treat. Not so dark this time. I'm very pleased. The boys would probably have eaten this batch. Once they're cold, I'll pop them in my new clip lock. I would have used the big Tupperware, but suddenly it looks a bit, well, seen better days. It smells a bit of that curry. Yes, I know, Jill, I know. So it feels like a bit of a risk giving them the clip lock, but sometimes you have to take a risk in life. Go home or go large. That's whatever it is. But then I catch sight of myself in the hall mirror and I think, I'll better spruce up a bit. So I pop them on the phone table and go up to have a shave and put on my better slacks. I think I must have nodded off in the bath, because it's gone 6, probably getting on for 1:30 before I'm finally ready to go over. I'd cut myself shaving. I couldn't find my styptic. I don't want to go over with lavatory paper stuck to my face. So when it's stopped bleeding, I say, "Right, this is it, Jill, I'm going in. Keep me covered." "Yes, go," she'd have said. Go now before it gets to evening." She would have said that. Nobody wants to be disturbed in the evening. Jill knew. I'd seen the young man in the street when I was having my coffee. He looked very smart, I thought. Well, smart for someone in the middle of moving house. His plimsolls were very clean anyway. Trainers, yes, Jill, trainers. And I'd seen a young lady too, quite small, very short hair. I thought maybe it was a boy at first, but then she turned round and, well, you could see she wasn't. No children, I didn't see any children. That was a shame, I thought. I always have enjoyed having children in the street. Mostly. Except that Pierre lad, that ginger one. He was a bit of a handful. I always said he'd end up with his collar felt, and, well, sure enough. But that was what, 10 years ago? 12, Jill, 12. You'll probably be out now then. Corley. Yes. Pierre Corley. That was him. So he's getting on for 6:45 probably when I finally go over the road. And I'm just about to knock when their door opens and there they are coming out. "Oh," I say, "oh." And the young man looks a bit startled too. "What do you want?" he says, a bit standoffish like. Well, I've got the clip lock in my hand and start waving it at him, but I'm a bit flustered and I don't quite know what to say. I'm 72. It was just from over the road, number 72. I saw you moving your stuff in and I... "Oh, right," says the young man. And the woman is just behind him. I see she's got quite a lot of earrings in her ears and lips. Piercings, yeah. "Si," she says in that we're late voice, Si. "Right," says the young man. "We're just heading out to get some supper. Sorry, boss." Oh, okay," I say. "Well, Si, come on," says the woman. "Sorry, we've got reservations and we're already late," he says. "All righto. Well, I'll... Would you like..." I start to try and give him the clip lock. "I just thought..." "What? What's this?" he says. And I hear the woman say something I didn't quite catch. "No, just some rock cakes," I say. I thought... "Rock cakes? Oh, no, thanks, mate," he says. "I'm watching what I eat and Steph's gluten-free." And by that time he's walking past me and she's finished locking the door. They just get in the car and drive off. BMW. An old one, but even so. Not really sure they're going to fit in here, frankly.